evening. You're now with me, Shil Shamato, for TVS Nightline. And here are the headlines for tonight. IDF hit squad disguised as hospital staff infiltrated and killed 3 Palestinians. SARAWAK nears finalizing negotiations with LTAT to boost its stake in AFFIN Bank, Berhad. And government signs MOA with NIES, Japan. Amidst the devastation in Gaza, a shocking incident transpired in the SINA hospital in the West Bank when Israel Defense Forces IDF hit squad disguised as hospital personnel infiltrated the hospital and killed 3 Palestinians. According to reports by the Palestinian Health Ministry, the victims were killed early in the morning while they were sleeping. Naji Nazal, the director of SINA hospital, said the Israeli troops assassinated the 3 martyrs who were identified as Mohammed Jalna, Mohammed Ayman Ghazawi and Basil Ayman Ghazawi using weapons fitted with silencers. On the other hand, the Israel army claimed that Jalna was part of Hamas and was seeking refuge in the hospital and labeled the other 2 as terrorists who colluded with Jalna. It added that Jalna was involved in significant terrorist activity and was known for distributing weapons and ammunition for Hamas. The IDF also believed that Jalna planned to carry out a terror attack in the immediate future and used the hospital as a hiding place and therefore was neutralized. Sarawak is close to finalizing its negotiations with Lembaga Tabung Angkatan Tentera or LTAT to increase its stake in AFFIN Bank, Berhad. Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Junapeng, disclosed that discussions are still ongoing to determine the amount of shareholding to increase.
Soalan pertama, jawapannya dekat. Dekat.
Very soon.
Very soon. Begini, kita nampak AFFIN Bank ni, kita just invest 9% dulu lah.
4.9.
4.9. Never mind, we just position ourselves in AFFIN Bank. Jadi lepas tu kita tengok lah. That's why you...
He told this to the media at a press conference after visiting Menara AFFIN in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday. Previously, AFFIN Bank said its major shareholder LTAT has confirmed a news report that the Armed Forces Fund is in discussions with the Sarawak State Financial Secretary for the possible transaction of additional shares in the bank. Abang Johari added that the state government is interested in increasing its shareholding in the bank to drive the growth of local small and medium enterprises SMEs, noting that bank ownership is not something new for Sarawak, as it had owned 6 banking institutions previously.
Since we have, certain capital that we want to inject in, because we are saving also, and we was, income is managed by 3 factors. One is the normal expenditure that you have. Number 2 is your investment, and 3 is saving. And that the 3 important component of managing your income will make, yourself or the country on even keel. Saving, in case there is a crisis, you have the money there for you to spend for saving. And we want to look at the bank because they're part of our investment.
Under the Post-COVID-19 Development Strategy PCDS 2030, he said Sarawak is guided by 3 pillars, namely economic growth, social inclusion and environmental sustainability, adding that Sarawak would focus more on producing green energy while looking into increasing investments in the green industry and supplying green energy to the neighbouring region.
In a bold move, Sarawak aspires to become the Bavaria of Malaysia, capitalizing on the state's distinct advantages. With Sarawak's strong position in the energy sector, Junaidi is confident that Sarawak and Malaysia can achieve unprecedented progress and prosperity.
That's what we are doing now. The government, state government is doing that. Because at the end of the day, the whole country will benefit. That's why I was talking about Bavaria. And then kalau tarif you attractive, power you ada, then investor will come. The moment investment banyak datang, then it will strengthen our ringgit. Because ringgit is based on supply and demand. Kalau orang ada beli ringgit kita, sebab dia invest, dia beli ringgit kan. So ringgit, the value will be high. Kalau kita investment tak kurang, the fund managers may not come here, dan orang tak ada invest banyak. So your ringgit will be like that all the time. So in other words, your internal strength, economic strength must be strong. And Sarawak, since we got, our fundamental, jadi kita dalam Sarawak government, develop on our fundamental, termasuklah energy.
The Sarawak State Government today signed a Memorandum of Agreement, or MOA, with the National Institute for Environmental Studies, Japan. In a statement today, the Forest Department, Sarawak, representing the state government, said the MOA was executed to regulate research activities and obligations of the parties involving consultancy services on forest volume modelling and permanent sample plots. The MOA was signed during a symposium entitled Bilateral Collaboration Research Towards Sustainable Forest Management in Sarawak. 9 papers were presented by researchers from NIES, the Forest Department, and University Malaysia, Sarawak. All papers presented are imperative in acquiring scientific data and scientific-based information to support the Sarawak government in decision and policy making. There is no coercion in implementing the Cascading Dams project involving rural communities in Sarawak. Minister of Utility and Telecommunications for Sarawak, Dr. Sri Junaidi Narawi, said Sarawak Energy Berhad, or SEB, as the implementing agency, had engaged with the grassroots leaders prior to the development. In response to oppositions to the project in Sungai Tutuh, Baram, before this, Junaidi said that the voice of the majority should not be overshadowed by a few vocal minorities.
In fact, the government has received 3 requests from 3 areas to be considered for the development of cascading dam. Yes, I do hear that certain people were questioning whether it is a real request. Yes, it is a real request. Probably the 1 or 2 outspoken minority does not know or do not know that the requests are submitted by the local leaders as well. They are not the only local leaders in the area. So this must be taken note of by the very critical 1 or 2 personalities who are very concerned about the development of cascading dam in the near future. I think we have to make it very clear. The voice of the majority, silent majority, must not be diluted by 1 or 2 outspoken minority in the near future, because we are very concerned with the development of the majority.
Previously, the Sarawak government announced that the cascading dam projects are identified in Sungai Gaat, Kapit, Sungai Tutuh, Baram, and Sungai Belaga, Belaga. According to the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, they have received opposition from the Baram community, which previously doubted the efforts to implement the project in the area.
The Minister of Utility and Telecommunications for Sarawak, Dr. Sri Julaihi Narawi, has called on Petroleum Sarawak Berhad or Petros to proactively take steps to ensure an uninterrupted supply of subsidised liquefied petroleum gas, especially in rural areas. He highlighted that Petros has been the sole distributor of subsidised LPG since December 1 of the previous year and has undertaken various measures, including legal actions, in assuming this responsibility.
Satu lagi rang undang-undang iaitu pindaan Gas Distribution Amendment Ordinance 2023 juga telah dilulus dan akan berkuat kuasa pada 1 Februari 2024 di mana Petros akan dilantik sebagai gas aggregator. Jadi tahniahlah kepada Petros kerana akan dilantik sebagai aggregator.
He said this in his speech at the Minister of Utilities and Telecommunications mandate ceremony at the Imperial Hotel in Kuching earlier today. He added that Petros must focus on ensuring the development of the gas distribution infrastructure, such as the main gas pipeline and the virtual pipeline throughout Sarawak, following the implementation schedule outlined in the Sarawak Gas Roadmap. This is seen as an effort to prevent hoarding and misuse, as well as to assert its commitment to ensuring a continuous supply of subsidized 14-kilogram LPG cylinders across the state.
The Sarawak government will launch the Kang Gold Plus card this year as an upgrade to the Kang Gold card. State Ministry of Women, Early Childhood and Community Wellbeing Development, Dr. Sri Fatimah Abdullah said that this is to enhance health services for the elderly.
Dan tahun ini kita akan tambah lagi baik perkhidmatan kepada warga emas kita melalui Kang Gold Card Plus ni nanti. InsyaAllah sama-sama kita doakan mudahan we could launch this Kang Gold Card Plus ini nanti di mana ianya dapat memberi perkhidmatan membolehkan warga emas kita mendapat perkhidmatan untuk kesihatan ini nanti.
Elderly individuals who possess the Kang Gold Plus card will also be able to use it to receive treatment at private hospitals and clinics. This move is taken to ensure that elderly individuals receive treatment as quickly as possible and not have to wait long for their turn to receive treatment at government hospitals.
To elevate the financial burden of the people for the upcoming Chinese New Year celebration, the Sarawak government has allocated 7.65 million ringgit to be distributed to over 7,008 recipients throughout the state of Sarawak. Deputy Minister for Women, Childhood and Community Development, Community Wellbeing Development, Dato' Razi Sitam said the amount covered various assistances distributed through the Sarawak State Community Welfare Department, JKMNS.
Tahun ini di Sarawak, di mana Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat Sarawak telah membutuhkan bagi Majlis Sumbangan Sidang Pejabat Kasih dan Bencana pada tahun 2024 ini kepada 7,656 penerima di Negeri Sarawak dengan jumlah peruntukan 7.6 juta bagi tahun ini. Kalau dari segi penerima sumbangan sebenar Majlis Sejabat Kasih dan Bencana di bahagian Kuching sahaja, di mana seramai 2,736 orang.
Adding to that, Cebu recorded 1,764 recipients, Miri with 835 recipients, Seriki with 515, Seri Aman 387, Serian 314, Bintulu 273, Semarahan 212, Limbang 204, Muka 184, Betong 158, and Kapit at 74 people. He said this when speaking at the 2024 Chinese New Year Majlis Sejambak Kasih at Majma Mall, Kuching on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the event saw a total of 158 recipients receiving 100 ringgit in cash and hamper worth 80 ringgit each. Razi further added that a total of 2,736 people, or 25.74% of assistance recipients, are eligible to receive the contribution aimed to alleviating their financial burden, in addition to the celebration of the upcoming Chinese New Year.
The appointment of Tun Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar as the 8th Young Deputy Negeri of Sarawak is congruent with the Sarawak State Constitution. Deputy Minister in the Premier's Department of Corporate Affairs and UKAS, Dr. Abdullah Saidul, believes the leadership qualities possessed by Wan Junaidi will drive the state's development as well as its citizens' well-being.
Kita mengalu-alukan Tuan Yang Utama, semoga beliau dapat menjalankan tugas dengan terbaik untuk Sarawak dan semakin agresif dalam pelbagai aktiviti pembangunannya.
Expanding further, Abdullah Saidul stressed that he will strive to arrange a meeting between Tun Dr. Wan Junaidi and media practitioner in Sarawak in the near future.
Dan insyaAllah dalam masa tertentu nanti, Tuan Yang Terutama Tun akan mengambil kesempatan untuk berjumpa dengan semua warga wartawan secara santai.
On Monday, Tun Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar was sworn in as the Sarawak's 8th Young Deputy Negeri. He took the oath of office at the Sarawak Legislative Assembly's Dewan Lapau yesterday in front of the Premier, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, as well as the Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak, Tan Sri Abdul Rahman Sebli.
Coming up right after the break, prioritise physical and mental health for SPM candidates and second 5G network to be mulled over. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. Any news regarding Dato' Sri Najib Tun Razak's appeal for a royal pardon should come directly from the Pardons Board and not solely rely on sources. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil advised media practitioners to wait for the official statement from the Pardons Board and to verify the authenticity of the information received before publishing it. Fahmi said that he had also referred the matter to Minister of Law and Institutional Reform Dato' Sri Azalina Othman Said and was instructed to wait for the response from the board. Previously, an online portal published a story that claimed that the former Prime Minister had received a pardon. A check on the website found that the portal had removed the report citing unverified facts and also apologized to its readers. The viability of implementing a second 5G network and the potential for enhanced service offerings to telecommunications companies will be determined. Consequently, Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil had announced that a special committee overseeing the 5G implementation will soon compile a cabinet memorandum that aims to facilitate discussions and decisions on whether it is appropriate to permit a second network, given that the country's 5G coverage has achieved 80.2% coverage as of December 31.
He said this after the ministry's monthly assembly here on Tuesday. The regulation of the 5G implementation remains under the purview of the Communications Ministry, with the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission MCMC serving as the regulatory authority in the telecommunications sector. This oversight encompasses spectrum management and other aspects outlined in the Communications and Multimedia Act.
Candidates for the 2023 Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia SPM are advised to practice a healthy diet and take adequate rest. Education Minister Fadlina Siddiq, through a Facebook post, emphasised the importance of maintaining the robustness of their mental and physical in preparation for SPM.
Pastikan anak-anak menjaga kesihatan fizikal dan mental. Kedua, pastikan tidur dan rehat yang mencukupi. Ketiga, jangan lupa makan makanan yang berkhasiat. Dan keempat, pastikan sentiasa dalam keadaan tenang, banyakkan berdoa dan tawakal kerana anak-anak telah pun membuat persiapan yang cukup rapi, usaha yang telah memakan masa berbulan-bulan untuk menghadapi peperiksaan ini. Untuk itu saya ucapkan selamat maju jaya, diiringi doa dan pastinya kejayaan akan kami titipkan bersama dengan seluruh kekuatan yang ada supaya kedudukan dan juga menghadapi periksaan ini akan dilalui dengan tenang dan juga dipermudahkan. Selamat maju jaya, all the best.
Overall, a total of 395,870 candidates have registered to sit for the 2023 SPM examination at 3,340 examination centres nationwide, taking place from January 30th to March 7th. The examination entails 3 types of tests: oral, listening, and written exams.
On to the next update. The Kelantan police reaffirmed their commitment to fully investigate the case involving an inspector accused of sexually assaulting a woman during her visit to file a report at the Tumpat Police Headquarters last Sunday. Kelantan Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Zaki Harun said the IPD will conduct a comprehensive inquiry into the actions of the 38-year-old officer. Zaki said the suspect will also be investigated under disciplinary offences and the public will need to allow the police time to conduct further investigation. Commenting further on the rape report, Muhammad Zaki said a preliminary investigation found that the incident occurred when the 23-year-old victim appeared as a witness for an investigation related to an extortion case at Tumpat IPD. And now on to some world affairs. From the outset, many of the top Israeli officials have asserted that the Israel-Gaza conflict is unilateral after labeling Hamas as evil and suggesting that every Palestinian in Gaza is complicit or affiliated with Hamas. However, this narrative appears to have unraveled as hundreds of Israeli settlers have gathered for a conference in Jerusalem, advocating for the forced removal of Palestinians from their lands, all under the pretext of facilitating their own settlement.
The conference, called Settlement Brings Security, was organized in part by the right-wing Nachala organization. This group advocates for the expansion of Jewish settlements, recognized as illegal by international and humanitarian entities. The conference was attended by thousands of Israelis, specifically advocated for Israel to reconstruct settlements in both Gaza and the northern regions of the occupied West Bank. The director of the said organization, Danila Weiss, told global media that she had foreseen a future where, quote, the entire Gaza Strip is incorporated into the state of Israel, belonging to the land of Israel.
I don't want to kill them. I want them out of Gaza, and we'll use different methods. One of them is not to give them any humanitarian aid, so the countries of the world will have pity on them and take them.
The Palestinian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates denounced the conference on X, expressing strong disapproval and characterizing it as a blatant challenge to the ruling of the International Court. They highlighted concerns at the event advocated for the forced displacement of Palestinians. A senior U.S. official expressed to the media that the conference was profoundly repulsive and noted that it represents a significant error on the Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu's part, questioning whether he has full control. Also, France's foreign ministry rebuked the conference, and a spokesperson stated that the French authorities anticipate a clear denunciation of these positions from the Israeli government.
Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan was sentenced Tuesday to 10 years in prison, less than 2 weeks before the country votes in an election his party has been hamstrung from contesting. Today's conviction for leaking classified state documents was handed down inside Adel jail, where Khan has been confined for much of the time since his August arrest.
The same sentence was given to Shah Mahmood Qureshi, the former PTI vice chairman who served as foreign minister during Khan's 4-year premiership until he was ousted in 2022. Pakistan goes to the polls next Thursday in a ballot already marred by allegations of pre-vote rigging, with Khan barred from running and his Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf PTI party subject to a massive crackdown. Khan was disqualified from standing over a previous graft conviction, one of dozens of court challenges he says have been orchestrated to prevent his return to office after a campaign of defiance against Pakistan's military kingmakers. PTI lawyers said they were ousted from the proceedings, denying their leaders fair representation.
Dozens of Italian farmers staged a protest with tractors near Milan earlier today, the latest in a series of small demonstrations across the country driven by fear over their livelihoods. Impromptu protests have been sprung up in recent weeks from Sicily to Trento, with reports of convoys blocking roads now regular occurrences. Although they have yet to reach the levels of farmer demonstrations in France, Germany or Belgium. The protesters are angry about European Union regulations, the impact of inflation and taxes on their products. They have demanded that their mortgages be suspended. Luisito Rinaldi, one of the organizers of protests in northern Italy, commented that things had become so difficult that some farmers in the south were committing suicide. A man has died after being shot by armed officers in southeast London early today in a rare fatal police shooting in the United Kingdom. Unlike many forces around the world, British police do not routinely carry guns, but can call in specialist firearms units to deal with the most serious incidents.
The Metropolitan Police said the man is thought to have been in his 30s and was threatening to harm residents at an address in Surrey Quays, southeast London. 2 people were slightly injured in the incident, which happened in the early hours of Tuesday. The Metropolitan Police said it had referred the incident to the Independent Office for Police Conduct Watchdog for an investigation. Detective Chief Superintendent Seb Ajay Adoh said armed officers discharge their weapons very rarely, and all officers understand and expect that when they do, their actions will be closely scrutinized. According to the UK Interior Ministry, which is responsible for policing, there were 18,395 operations involving firearms units in England and Wales in the 12 months to March 31st, 2023. But there were only 10 incidents in which police firearms were intentionally discharged at people, up from 4 the previous year. According to the charity Inquest, which tracks deaths involving the state, there have been a total of 82 fatal police shootings in England and Wales since 1990.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms at TV Sarawak. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Shal Shimato. Thank you for watching and have a good night.